What is up, Fanatics? It is 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and that means another episode of Home Theater Fanatics Live. Tonight is episode 140, and we have a monster of a spectacular episode for you tonight. So I've got two awesome guys from a company that you might have heard of joining us and you for the evening. Their names are Nick and Larry, and they're from a little company called SVS. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Giles. I just love that intro. I feel like Michael Jordan running on the court before Game 7 of the NBA Finals. That was quite the build.
It's an Alan Parsons project. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly how you're supposed to feel. I mean, everybody at home right now, they're all like, SVS, and you've got some people over there saying, Nick, go, and then some Larry, it's huge crowd. Have you seen that commercial? It's for some casino, but it's like Caesar's Palace, and it's got the guys like I am
Patton
Caesar,
Oswalt.
So that crowd, that is the crowd right now. That's chanting your names.
Oh well, that's awesome. We have some celebrities out there then. Very cool.
Absolutely. I mean,
that feels good. I wish I had my foam finger on. I would be totally revving them on right now. But
I'm gonna get a big Larry head.
There we go. Or Squid Game mask, the big,
with the X,
the big girl,
yeah. I'm sure that was very popular for Halloween this time around.
It was tough to find those costumes, though. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're making money. They're selling them out. They're doing the right thing. But let's talk about something that people might really be interested in. But if they haven't watched Squid Game, they should totally watch it. It's a cultural phenomenon. But for the 2 or 3 people out there that don't know who you guys are, and for the 1 or 2 people that don't know who SVS is at this point, let's run them through the quick intros, and maybe let's start with Larry today. Larry,
cool.
Who are you, man, and why should people care?
Well, let's see. My name is Larry Magoo, and it is pronounced Magoo like the cartoon, and I am the national training manager for SVS, and I've been in the industry since 1997, dealing with home theater. Sales, training, geeking out across the world with our retail partners. And my role for the company is interacting with our stores that sell our product and training those guys and gals on selling everything SVS or knowing the feature set, and then educating our customers through our special events and broadcasts, and just kind of being a geek out there for our brand.
Right on. So, this past year and a half must have been very interesting for you with your set of responsibilities.
Very much so. I went from traveling 40 weeks a year, a couple nights or 4 nights a week, to I think Nick and I have made 2 trips really in the last 18 months or so. So it's definitely been a little different than what we're typically accustomed to. But I've become kind of the virtual guy, I guess, doing trainings virtually, making an entirely new training website for the brand, creating digital content for our retail partners, and it's been a lot of fun. And then doing broadcasts like this over the last, I think we've done probably between Nick and I about 70 broadcasts this year. I think doing quite a bit of stuff. I think it is that many.
Right on.
So it's been a lot of fun.
That's cool. But this might be the only one that's going to be on IMDb though.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, right on. I'll give you guys actor credit. No, it's funny. I actually do have this on IMDb, so people can come in and they can look me up and they can see Home Theater Fanatics Live. It's like, whoa, look at me, I have a thing.
Awesome. I got to get a professional headshot then.
Somebody's got to make a wiki entry for me one day. I think it'd be hilarious. So that's Larry, everyone, Larry, everyone, and Nick.
I am the VP of Marketing at SVS. So, I've also been in this industry a long time, worked at a PR agency for a while, repping a bunch of high-performance audio brands before transitioning. And now I do everything from help manage the Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram to setting up reviews with great people like Giles, and doing a lot of digital marketing, video content, transitioning to this virtual world, but just having fun while doing it. I think that's part of what we like to do at SVS is make our work fun. And when you're dealing with, great audio, what's not to love about that?
Oh, I agree 100%. So first off, again, thank you guys so much for coming on the show tonight. As I always say, everyone's time is super valuable, so that that you guys would choose to spend it with me and everybody else watching tonight. That's a huge honor. So again, thank you for that. Now we know who you are, but I'm sure there's somebody out there saying, what is SVS? What is that? So how do you distill the essence of SVS, down into, a little sound bite? What is SVS? What do you guys do?
I'll start this one off, Larry, and then you can take the baton from me. I mean, really, a brief history lesson. We started making these big cylinder subwoofers in a garage in Youngstown, Ohio, over 20 years ago, and that's really sort of where we were birthed, trying to provide reference audio experiences that were at a better value, a little bit more affordable than what was typically out there as far as subwoofers go. And from that point, we've sort of grown into a full-scale audio brand with 2 speaker lines. We've got multiple accessories on our SoundPath accessory lines. What are we up to now, Larry? Like 22 subwoofers, 23?
Yeah, it's a big number. Yeah,
that's a lot of product line.
Different models of subwoofers, and so we're really just sort of emerging now as a full-on audio brand and stepping up into the world of home theater and hi-fi in a way that I think was hard to imagine 23, 24 years ago when we were just a direct, to consumer cylinder subwoofer brand. So it's been kind of a wild ride.
Right on. And not only do you sell direct, but you guys are also in retail outlets. So what, Best Buy and where else? I mean, all over the place. Everybody's reselling you guys now.
Yeah, we're all over the country. You'll find us in I think our biggest footprint's going to be inside Magnolia Home Theater at Best Buy. So we're not on a conventional Best Buy floors, but we are at Magnolia Home Theater, which is about 300 stores, and then also their design center, which is the step up experience that has some different gear, and so that's about 90 stores. We're in about 400 of their stores nationwide. A couple of regional partners. So I'm in Texas. We've got quite a few stores here in Texas, and then as you work your way around the country, we're in independent retailers and some of our online partners as well, and then worldwide. So we've got international distribution. We have an international sales team that works with retail partners across the globe, and I've even been doing some training with them too, which has been really cool.
That's cool. And it's very true that it is a worldwide phenomenon. And before the time of woes, I used to travel, not a huge amount, but a good chunk. And I've talked to people about SVS in Japan and in Taiwan and in China and in Thailand and in France and in Germany. So I mean, they're the knowledge is out there, and it's really awesome. Over time, how the company has built itself into a international juggernaut, so to speak, from a brand point of view. It's great, and I think that's not only a testament to the product itself and everything that comes into that from design, but also to you guys that are out there making sure everybody understands how to best use the product, what's the right product, and then acting as that conduit back and forth between the company and the public. So when you hear people say, hey, I'd really like a small sub with 2 active 8-inch subs, and then that's what we got now. An active sub with 2 8-inch subs, so that's it's really cool. Oh, this is funny. Nick,
I see that comment from Joey down there.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that before the broadcast. We're like, oh, we're cousins.
Yeah, that's
you ought to see when Ed Mullen is on with us too, our director of technology, because we're all bald guys with beards.
Yeah. I mean, so I used to not have a beard until I lost all this hair, and then I was like, oh, I got to make up for this, so I grew a beard, and I started with like the goatee thing, and I'm like, oh, that's not enough. My head's getting bigger and bigger, so I need. But as I tell everyone, I didn't really lose my hair. It just kind of migrated.
Yeah, I blame it on headphones and ball caps, but I tell everybody I keep my beard so I don't look like a chubby, balding 13-year-old boy. So.
Oh, that is so wrong. All right, so that's Nick and Larry and SVS. So big company, speakers of all kinds now. So it's not your grandpa's subwoofer company anymore. And the subs are awesome. You guys make everything from the little guys all the way up to the PPN SB16, the big monsters. But it's the new stuff that you guys have coming out, where you're innovating and doing new and interesting things that I'm really interested in. Now, don't get me wrong, I love subwoofers. Everybody does, and it's always a big draw, and it's cool to talk about that stuff. But I'm interested in the technology that you guys are starting to pack into all of these devices. And there's some new things, and I've got a little bullet point list of stuff that's out there. But to help customers make purchases, you guys have a new system builder tool. Is that right? Is that available now, or is that coming, or what's up with that? And then a subwoofer matching tool as well. What is all this stuff?
Yeah, we have a couple of resources on our website to kind of help people with that first step. And, I think some people have a notion of what they want right off the jump. But if you're just getting into this hobby, you kind of need a little bit of assistance sometimes. And obviously our sound expert support team is always standing by. But our subwoofer matching tool is basically a tool on our website where you go in, you punch in your speakers, and then it will make a recommendation of the best subwoofer to match with those speakers. And it's a suggestion. It's not necessarily like this is the only one that will work, but it gives you a sort of a starting point. And then it also gives you low pass filter, some of the settings that will allow you to really optimize with it. So it's sort of a twofold, help you choose a model that's going to work best for the speaker model and brand that you have. Excuse me. But then also give you some of the settings to optimize it within your home. The system builder is more of a tool to allow you to custom build a package of SVS speakers because our Prime and Ultra series are timbre matched. You can mix and match between them. We wanted to give
that I did not know.
Yeah, yes. So it's basically a resource that lets you say, I want the Prime center, but the Ultra towers with Prime elevations and then Ultra surrounds. And now you can custom build the system. And when you add 5 or more products, you get a little discount. So it's a nice sort of caveat to just choosing the prepackaged systems. And then the newest thing that we've added to our site is augmented reality. Giles, as you can imagine, if you're buying a PB16 Ultra, which weighs 200 pounds and is roughly the size of like a St. Bernard's doghouse, you want to have it know that it's going to fit in your room. And so the augmented reality allows you to use your smartphone and basically place any of our speakers and subwoofers in a setting within your home and see how it looks in terms of the size and scale relative to your decor and to the furniture. So that this behemoth or the micro, for example, is going to fit within your space. And you can share screenshots and get buy-in from the significant other if you need to do so. But we're just trying to offer some different things where people can interact with our site and interact with our products in a way that's virtual. Since a lot of the retail has slowed down with what's been going on. But these are just sort of tools to help people make that decision and see how they can live with them.
Yeah, the augmented reality is really, really cool. Go ahead, Leah.
It is. It's a lot of fun to play with. And I see questions coming up about the speakers that are in the matching tool. There's thousands of speakers in that matching tool, and it's based on frequency and specs and roll off and all the technical stuff you need to know in a speaker. So if you go to the website, you go to svsound.com, go under subwoofers, you'll see the matching tool, and you can go in there and kind of play around with it and figure out which one's best for you. And the augmented reality, Nick and I were together in Ohio last week doing some recording. We had some fun with augmented reality, kind of placing it in goofy spots or really showing what a micro looks like next to a PB16 Ultra. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can do in there. You just need your phone. It works really great on Chrome. You'll see the view it in your room button, and boom, you bring it right up there on your screen, and you can place the product in your house.
See, I'm going to put in a product request now. What I need from you guys are brackets. So and wall attachers. I don't know what the right term is, but I'm just thinking, start with one, maybe SB or PB16, and then in the augmented reality, then stack the next one on top of it, stack the next one on top of it. But you got to be able to connect them and then connect them to the wall so that, it's nice and solid. So that's the next product request I have.
You're talking wall-mounted subwoofers?
No, stacked and then attached to the wall so they don't fall on your children and crush them.
I see.
Oh, well, see, they don't move, so you wouldn't really have to worry about that. They're pretty.
Well, when they're like 6 tall, though.
Oh man, you'd be amazed some of the photos that people have out there. When you have 200-pound stubs sitting on top of each other, they're not
pretty
going
solid.
Now. Yeah, if you have a kid going up and like trying to knock it over, that's a whole other story. But we've the isolation system. We see a lot of people that use that and stack our subs on top of each other, or just simply putting the subs right on top of each other with the rubber feet that are there. I think we've got a really cool image of somebody that has 6 PB16s.
Oh my God!
And they're stacked on the sides. So there's 4 on the sides of the screen and then 2 directly below, and it just looks unreal.
And Giles, home theater Fanatics exclusive here. We are in development with an in-wall subwoofer as well. So if you didn't want to necessarily stack and mount, that will be coming in 2022. I don't have an exact date, but we're well underway with that project, and it's going to be a pretty cool design. So stay tuned.
So see, now that kind of stuff I'm actually really interested in, because, you know, I like to do home theater, but, you know, I have a lot of other applications throughout my home that it doesn't even make sense to add in, you know, like any of your little guys either, right? It just doesn't make any sense at all. So in-wall is really super cool. Now, do you guys have any other architectural speakers at this point?
No, it's a category it's kind of saturated. Well, I'd say oversaturated.
It's super saturated.
And when you look at it, there's $30 in-wall speakers, and then there's $2,000 in-wall speakers, and everything else kind of in between. And what you'll find is there's not a ton of difference between where it starts and kind of the middle. It's when you make that massive jump to the really expensive stuff that you see the benefit there. But for the cost of some of those bigger, expensive in-wall speakers, you can do a better box speaker. Yes, it's going to be on the wall, but I always go back to the fact that when you go to a movie theater, there are no speakers in the wall or in the ceiling. They are on the wall and on the ceiling. That's the best experience. And we've got a really cool solution there with our elevation speaker that when it is on the wall, yes, you're going to see it, but it's designed to go up like where the wall and the ceiling meet. It doesn't have to be down low, or it's not really big and obtrusive like a lot of other wall mounted speakers are. Yeah,
I mean, that speaker has to be a really good seller for you guys, because I see that thing all over the place. The penetration that you have with that product is really amazing. So, you know, well done on that. But no, I could totally see it. You know, some elevations, some in walls. No, that's really exciting. I look forward to that, because you know, if you can make it fit into a standard, you know, 2x4 stick built wall kind of setup, that would be absolutely outstanding. And, you know, talking about new stuff, let's move on to the new SoundPath stuff that you guys have coming out. What's the skinny on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are surprised sometimes to know that we have as many accessories as we do. And, you know, we currently have, you know, products that work with our products. We have an RCA cable for connecting our subwoofers. We have Ultra speaker wire, which is sort of our premium build speaker cable. And then we have SoundPath 1, which is more of a, you know, better for long runs, not as, it doesn't have the braided jacket, but it's still a nice quality bulk speaker cable. We have our isolation system, which I know Larry already mentioned. We have 2 wireless adapters. So our new ones that are launching are in the same vein. We're going to be doing an HDMI cable with all the updated specs to continue, you know, obviously with the you know, needs that people have in connecting products. Oh, there you go. We're doing an optical.
I'm trying to find my isolation system. My desk is a mess right now, bro.
So we're going to be doing an optical as well, which will work with our Prime wireless system, and, you know, being able to connect that to a TV. And Larry, what am I leaving out here?
Oh,
XLR.
Wireless. Yeah, XLR,
which has been
now you're talking my language.
Time. Yeah,
now you're talking my language.
And so
I was digging around for the SoundPath isolation system. So I don't know if you mentioned that one other cable for video.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all in the vein of just trying to be a fully fledged audio company and providing every possible solution that everyone wants, you know, for connecting their various elements. And there's sort of this gap that exists between like these ultra premium $1,000 solutions made with unicorn hair and, you know, leprechaun dust, and then the sort of very basic point A to point B solutions that you'll find, you know, Amazon Basics or whatever. And so, you know, these solutions really sort of fit that gap. They have that premium look and feel about them. They still provide all that nice high-end internal components that gets you purity of signal transfer, all that good stuff, rejecting interference. But again, it's going to be priced in a place where I think more than most people can attain them, and it's not sort of that sticker shock and that like, wow, I feel like this might be you know, just sort of that snake oil technology that they're promising me the world, but it's you know, it's really just sort of false technology. It's going to be much better than that.
Right on. You know, it's funny. So, you know, I'll often do subwoofer reviews, and I have an RCA cable of you guys, and I always have a little internal pleasure when I'm like, I'm using the SVS cable and this other sub. Why?
Something about the feel, the braided jacket, the snugness of
really
the
good
fit,
looking
like,
cord too. Yeah.
they're handsome. What can I say?
They are actually very good looking. So I remember when I first saw them, I was like, oh, all right, I see what they're doing here. That's pretty cool.
If you gotta have
okay.
cable clutter, might as well look decent.
Absolutely. I mean, and if you're going to have an SVS subwoofer, you should have an
And
SVS
all of
cable.
our cables are compatible with all brands too.
There you go.
You don't have a little microchip in there that just like, oh no, this is a so-and-so. I can't work with that one. So you're not Apple, in other words.
No.
Yeah, cables don't work. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's say
our
hi
wireless
to.
adapters work with everything too.
Right on. Let's say hi to a few people out there. So, HiFi Haven is on the show with us. Hey, man, good to have you. Let's see. I'm not going to get everybody in here, but my mail's here. Joey Peacock has joined us, and he's from Accurus and Ergon. So I've
Gary's been asleep for about 2 hours, just for the record. So that's where Gary is on his pillow.
Yeah, it's a little late for Gary.
So I've used I've used the Accurus gear with SVS in the past, and it works together great. It's awesome. Let's see. There were a few questions. So Joey said
about Dune too.
Yeah, my SVS is just left in my entertainment cabinet. It had a blast during my viewing of Dune. That's awesome. HiFi Haven's going to watch it again tonight. I need to watch it again too. What is this? Hey guys, how do you stop ceilings from rattling from your subs?
So drop ceilings, those are kind of a struggle. I know a lot of people that get up there and just put something slightly heavy on the panels, and that helps quite a bit. We don't have basements in Texas, so we don't have really much anything with drop ceilings. But some of my friends that live in Colorado and other areas with basements, and they have the drop ceiling panels, they just put a brick on top of them. And that seems to have taken care of. I know it's such a weird thing to think about, but weighting it down seems to help. Using the isolation system is a great way to go about doing it. I've talked to people that have caulked their tiles on a drop ceiling.
No way.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wouldn't do that.
And evidently, it helps with sound too because it's less air leaking. I don't know. I'm not a contractor by any means, so don't take what I'm saying because I didn't do it. It's just what other friends are doing. And then laying down insulation, like my mail just said there too, just simply putting some the pink stuff, rolling it out there too.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Horsepower Junkie, he wants you guys to bring out the dual 10s. So just FYI, as a product request, Decibel Destroyer is here with us today. Victor Boyd is here. He loves your tools. T-Town Scott is with us. Does it do old speakers? Oh, so he's curious. So he's got some old 70s Kefs.
You'd be surprised.
Man, I T-Town Scott, I think the challenge is for you to go to the website, see what's there, and then report back to us at one of the shows so we can see if it met your needs. And if not, we can put in a request. I don't know.
So we have a direct link to our support team where we'll get it added within 48 hours and crunch the numbers and make the recommendation. So it's right there in the tool. It says, do not see your speakers. Here's a link. You tell us what model, what brand, and we'll get them updated.
Yeah, and you can call and somebody will figure out the speakers right then and there and give you the exact recommendations while you're on the phone too.
That's outstanding. It still boggles my mind a bit how big you guys have gotten and how many services you offer to customers now. I mean, the support and service that comes out of SVS is just astounding. It's astounding. AA says, hey, SVS is a good get, man. They keep the people engaged. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, we try. But we like doing it too. I think that's part of even before everything kind of changed in the world 18 months. God, has it really been 18 months? So yeah, 18 months ago when the world changed, we were already out there doing face-to-face events and bringing people together. And we were broadcasting those whenever we'd go into a store and take over a store. We'd broadcast that on social media. Now we've just kind of shifted to where we do it from our game rooms and home offices and living rooms instead.
Right on.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that might surprise people is that the fastest growing part of our company is our support team, and that is because we don't want to miss a beat in terms of any sort of support we can offer folks, whether that's making a recommendation, whether it's helping with an order and tracking shipment, or, God forbid you have some issue with the product. We want to be able to follow up on our bill of rights and get it shipped back and get you, fixed up so you're not without a subwoofer or speakers. And, all of that plays into our culture. And that's been very important for us to scale that up as our company has grown. And that's why that, that part of our company continues to grow so rapidly, is because we don't ever want people to have to wait or feel like they're being underserved. Again, we hire not customer service people. We call them sound experts. It's sort of marketing, but like, they know their stuff. They will be able to walk you through every single issue you're having with your AV receiver and why it sounds, not like it should. And chances are they've heard of the issue before. So that's always going to be an important part of our culture and our value system at SVS.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely outstanding, because when people like you and I and Larry and everyone else here get together, we have been exposed to this stuff before, right? So, this isn't our first rodeo, but there are a lot of people out there that, they're buying their first sub, and maybe it's like a PB1000 Pro or something, right? And they're like, I don't really know exactly what's going on. And what is this sub out and this and and having somebody that they can go to and call. I mean, that's invaluable to build that relationship. And, just from a branding and point of view, when you provide that kind of service, you lock folks in for life, and which is really cool, right? You create those raving fans, so to speak, when they feel like they have that connection with the company, they get that support. It's really, really cool. Yeah, I love it. And talking about really, really cool things, let's dip on over and talk a little bit about product right now, and subwoofers. Why not? But let's go small, right? The 3000 micro, right? So is that the newest model that you guys have out right now? I think it is, right?
It is. I don't think we had it available the last time we spoke, Giles. So this is our newest launch that we had. It was earlier this year, but it's been incredibly successful for us, and I think more so than we imagined. And it was probably, of all the products we've made, aside from like doing like a 36-inch subwoofer, the most in demand. Like, so many people were like, when are you guys going to do a micro? Everyone wants us to do like, dual 18, active drivers.
24.
Like,
that's my magic number.
Yeah, 24. I know, but like, there's a smaller pool to draw from in terms of people who actually desire a subwoofer. They want you to see it, or they want to see it. They want to experience it, but they don't necessarily want to own it. A micro
And
subwoofer.
they certainly don't want to buy it.
Well, that's the other part too. Manufacturing and shipping one of those, it's quite a ordeal. But the micro subwoofer, I think it's a niche that a lot of people are like, well, I've never considered a subwoofer, but this thing's really nice looking. It'll fit in a cabinet, under a piece of furniture, discreetly out of the way. And so for us, it was a real achievement. And we spent, a good year and a half developing this thing, because we wanted it to be a legitimate subwoofer, not one of these sort of imposter micros that uses passive radiators, or sort of has a, not quite that full experience of giving you what a subwoofer should really deliver.
Right on. And I want to touch on that point, because I've used a lot of micros, right? Small 8-inch size subs, but I think exclusively they all fall into the design of one active 8 and then 2 passive radiators of the same size. And I've also done, active 6.5 with dual 6.5-inch passive radiators. So, I'm sure there's somebody out there that has done it in the past potentially, but you're the only small form factor that I can think of that's doing 2 active powered drivers, right? Now, are you guys doing it in like push pull? Are they both in phase, or how's that working out on the technology side?
So they both work together and are active together. So if they're both going out, they're both going in at the exact same time. If you look at kind of going back to the passive radiator devices, those are meant to emulate bigger, louder sound, to almost act like a port as opposed to having a port. So the way those work, and I don't think a lot of people know this, is you'll have your one active driver, and there may be 1 or 2 extra drivers that are in that cabinet. And in most cases, they're not even connected. They're just simply in there to react to the active driver. And what occurs is whenever it starts getting really deep bass or really fast bass, that's when those mid-range, the micro subs from other brands out there tend to showcase where they falter. And then you'll hear them rattle. You'll see them move across the floor. You'll actually hear the cabinet. And so that was kind of the exact opposite approach that we wanted to take here with our design team. And they did an amazing job with this product. So there's two 8-inch drivers, both active, both powered from the amplifier at the exact same time. The amplifier in the cabinet was actually installed differently. Instead of just being a back wall plate like it is in most, it's actually in an L shape on the back and the bottom of the actual cabinet itself. And that helps with heat dispersion and also making the cabinet a little bit smaller. So this is two active 8-inch drivers in a cabinet that's about 11 inches cubed.
Wow.
And when it's rocking, this thing gets down right around that 20 hertz range. 23 hertz is what we quote, but if you get it properly placed in a room, you're absolutely going to hit 20 with it. And it really takes advantage of room gain too. But you can have it cranking at 100% volume. You can go and put your hand on it and you won't even feel it. And
that's
really
awesome.
goes into the design of the product. It's completely inert. I have it here under my desk, partnered with a pair of our powered bookshelf prime wireless speakers. I've taken it into retail stores and kind of shown them because it's small enough that I can take
it. You just carry it with you.
Yeah, I just like throw it in a little box with a pair of our speakers and I'm good to go. But it's been one of the biggest surprises for me because I still have my 1000 sitting here on a couch after I swapped it out with the micro and didn't miss a beat. And the 1000 that was in place was a 12-inch driver and a larger cabinet, but this is dual 8s and a smaller cabinet with a different amplifier system. And it's just been such a delight to experience. And my kids come in here and like, where's the bass coming from? And they like, kids are cool. They want to touch everything. And Lucas, my youngest, is 10, got down there and he's like, I don't feel it. Are you sure that's where it's coming from? Because I do have 11 other speakers in this room. And kind of blew him away that subwoofer was taking this space on.
Yeah, and I think the whole notion of the drivers being wired in parallel, it's important also because micro subwoofers in general, in the quest to make them as small as possible, have had a tendency in the past to dance. They actually move within the room, because whether you have the passive radiator, which I love this nickname that our tech support lead Ed Mullen made up. It's called drone cone. He calls them drone cones because they're slower, they're sloppier, they're not as accurate. They don't give you the same precision, the transient speed that you get from having dual actives, but they also sort of throw off the balance of the subwoofer so it can dance a little bit. And if you've ever seen a subwoofer moving across your room, it's not necessarily a pretty sight. It's kind of funny, but not something you want, in your home theater. So, there was a lot of work we had to do to get those dual 8-inch drivers wired in parallel and create that level of sonic inertness within the cabinet where it's basically, like Larry said, you don't know it's really on until you turn it off. And then it's like, oh, where'd the bass go? But you put your hand on it, that thing's, those cones are moving and it's a crazy experience. If you can actually, I've seen people pry the grills off and we don't recommend that, but you can see they're inverted. All of our other subwoofers have like what's the concave, whatever. Basically, the surround is angled out. These ones are angled in because it allows us to get more excursion from a tight little compact cabinet, and it's really sort of a feat of engineering.
Oh, that's awesome and super cool. And I've heard nothing but good things. So congratulations on that product. But with that, we are going to move into the next segment of the show, which is the tech topic of the week. All right, folks, you got questions and we got answers. And today we've got SVS with us, and they're going to tell us all about something they know all about. So today's tech topic is, I've got a subwoofer. I want to set it up as best I possibly can. What are some tips to help me get across the finish line? So SVS, give me some secret magic, some special seasoning that I can sprinkle on my subwoofer so that I get that awesome event.
I always love to tee this one up for Larry. And I feel like some of the most helpful advice you give, Larry, is the steps you can take after you run room calibration. Because I feel like most of the people in your audience, Giles, know enough to run Odyssey or whatever sort of room correction they have. But Larry's got a whole host of tips on what you can do to go from there. So I'll defer to him on this one.
Yeah. So I don't, first I'm going to tell you all right now, I don't do Room EQ Wizard. I don't do mini DSPs. I don't do any of that stuff. I do everything by ear. And a lot of it's because I change my gear a lot, and it's more because I work for the company. So I'm constantly swapping stuff out as new things come or rearranging stuff. So I do a lot of setups though across the country in retail stores and homes and events and stuff. And first thing I always do is you get everything set up as you're going to do it. Place your speakers, put your sub where you think it should go, or do your subwoofer crawl to find the best spot for it. And then do your room EQ within the receiver, whether it's MCACC, YPAO, Odyssey, whatever it is that your receiver offers. But first
Aspect,
thing you're going to want to do
for Joey out there, Aspect.
Yes, so I do all of those. But the first thing you're going to do is turn your subwoofer volume to about half or slightly above half volume. And the reason you want to do that is because all of the receivers out there are going to go, whoa, that subwoofer is loud. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the levels back. And a lot of people just go, okay, that's where it needs to be. So first thing I do is I pull the subwoofer level down internally on the sub itself. Then run the room calibration. And then go in and I look at what the receiver recognized my speakers as. Because if you're not running separates, if you're not doing separate components and you're not doing these massive powered towers, there's really no reason to run any tower or bookshelf speaker as a large tower if you're running off of an AVR. And the reason for that is a couple reasons. First off, if you run your front stage as large, it's taking away a lot of energy from your subwoofer. It's not sending full frequency to the sub because it's trying to send a lot of bass to the towers and then sends a little bit to your sub. So other aspect of that is when you're doing that, it's putting a lot more wear and tear on your receiver. It's making it run more than it should. It's just making it push more horsepower than it needs to. So by setting your speakers to small and then adjusting your crossover probably 20 hertz above where they bottom out, you'll get a better front stage, but then it sends more to the subwoofer. So that's what I tell you. Set it to small and then adjust your LFE on the subwoofer physically in the receiver. And after you've adjusted and got everything where you like it on the receiver settings, then go back and adjust the volume on your subwoofer internally to maximize its sound there. Placement's a big one. Finding the best spot in your room for where it sounds the best based on where you're sitting. You can do the subwoofer crawl, and I don't get down on my hands and knees. I just put the subwoofer either in front of my chair or physically in my chair, and then kind of walk around the room playing something like James Blake, Limit to Your Love, or Beyonce, Partition, or I use an app on my phone called Sonic and just put out like a 40 or 60 hertz tone and kind of listen for that and then figure out the best spot for it. Or I do some Hans Zimmer or whatever, and I kind of know what it's supposed to sound like. Then, finding out if you got room for two is another great aspect of it, but really playing with the, like on ours, the app-based control, getting it kind of fine-tuned, playing with the, I'm going blank on terms here, but playing with all the different settings you can do in there to really kind of get it set, like phase. I couldn't spit that out. Phase can be a big one. And when you're looking at most subwoofers, you have a 0 and 180. Well, that's great if you put it in the exact spot,
right spot. Yeah.
In your room. But what you'll find, even if you just have one subwoofer, playing with phase can make adjustments to time correcting the signal as it reaches you. And so in our app, and I think that's been the biggest eye opener in the app, is really playing with that quite a bit. In our app on all of our subs, you can adjust the phase in 1 degree increments. So instead of just being 0 or 180, you can do 0, 1, 24, 58, 79, whatever, and really get it to perfection for your room. And I think that one's been a lot of fun for me to play with over the last few years.
I found that it's really good to buy furniture dollies, put your subs on them, sit down in your main listening position, and then have your children push the subs around the room.
Oh, there you go. Put them to work.
Perfect.
Oh, what were you going to say, Nick?
Yeah, there's another cool feature within the app as well, the SVS Subwoofer Control app, which are called presets. And, I think a lot of us have experienced, I watch, Disney Plus, and it feels like it's just so much softer than when I watch, a Blu-ray.
It's totally softer.
Yeah. Yes. And so you're constantly adjusting the settings. So you can adjust volume, within the app to crank up the bass where you feel like it's lacking. But with the custom presets, you can have these specific set of settings, whether you're listening to music or whether you're listening to home theater, or whether you need to have like a stealth mode where it's a little bit later, maybe the kids are in bed. And that way you're not having to tweak all these settings every single time. You're just saving them as a preset. And, as far as like working with DSP, I think that's a big advantage, because again, it's like, you want it to sound as good as possible no matter what you're watching, but sometimes there are, mitigating factors that make you have to deal with it, and having that ability to sit in the, your favorite comfortable seat and adjust those things on the fly is a huge plus. And then for those folks who do like to tweak with the REWs and some of those more hardcore mini DSP, the correction aspects of it, we have a 3-band parametric EQ. And what this will allow you to do is basically adjust at different frequencies, the output levels. And so, if you're finding a null in a certain area, seating area, or you're finding a peak where it's really boomy, you can sort of flatten those off a little bit. And again, it allows the geeks in all of us to really emerge and tweak it to the likings that we have, and match it up with our systems in a way that you couldn't do before. So it's just a really convenient way to do DSP.
Right on. That, that's outstanding. And I think for everybody that's listening, people should not be scared to experiment a little bit, right? Placement of the sub, play with your EQ, listen with your ears, see what it feels like when you're sitting there. And it can always be a little bit better. And that's what's really cool, because you've got this gear, but I guarantee you there's another 10% in there somewhere. Right. Even my stuff, I do something different. I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? That's awesome. So, don't be scared to move things around and give it a try. There's a lot of excitement in that adventure that you can have. And, if you need more tips or you have questions, find a SVS support group. I mean, there are a lot of different places that you can talk to SVS owners out there on Facebook and different forums and that kind of thing. There's a lot of folks out there that have a lot of great knowledge. Don't be shy to ask and reach out. And if I can ever point anyone in the right direction, feel free on any of my socials to reach out, and I'll make sure you can find some answers. And I'm sure Larry and Nick would be happy to help point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. As well. Charles, I'm so happy you brought that up. The community has really grown since the beginning of the pandemic, like with all these groups. So I'm so happy you mentioned that, because it is it's such a great resource. And it's not like the forums of old where it's like you said the wrong thing, everyone jumped on you, throw, oh, you idiot, don't buy that, or why would you even ask that question? It's like much more inviting and engaging, and people actually want to help. So the judgment zone is sort of progressed out of the world of audio, and I think that's one of the best things that's happened.
Right on. Well, very true. It's time to move on again to a new section. I need new music. Now, let's take a break and stroll down to a cozy little place I like to call Content Corner. This is where we talk about all that cool content we love to consume with our SVS subwoofers and speakers. And today, we've got 3 awesome guests. Nick, Larry, and this is I should have a button for my sound effects. I have one way over there. I don't have it set up. So
I think you should just record that. That was actually pretty sweet.
Right on.
Very organic.
To do it live though. They like that. And bringing in Mike of Audio Arkitekts.
Oh, Mike.
Mike. Yeah. What's going on, guys? How are you?
What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Nick and Larry?
Man.
Mike's been hiding in the background in the lobby for a while. He's just been like, come on, hurry up, guys. Let's get to the good stuff. This is the fun stuff, the Content Corner. So, for everybody out there that's just joining us, we've moved into Content Corner. This is where we talk about all the cool stuff that we like to listen to and watch. And I'm going to kick things off today because I've started a new television show, and I really like it. So for folks that don't know, one of my favorite formats for television is the 30-minute comedy, right? And I guess maybe it's because I remember when I was a little kid, maybe not too young, but watching Cheers and stuff like that. And I just like that kind of episodic comedy. And there's a new show out there called Mythic Quest that brings a lot of pieces in. So for a while there, I was a huge MMORPG or whatever, massive multiplayer online role-playing game fan. And I did that for a number of years. And this is a 30-minute comedy that's about a company that makes an online role-playing game called Mythic Quest, and it's absolutely hilarious. So I don't have any of you guys ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Who
Nobody-
created it? Because I know Dan Harmon did something similar with a similar name. The guy that did Community, a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if that's his, but I've seen some of the things pop up for it.
So the Mythic Quest co-creator was Rob McElhenney.
McElhenney. Okay, yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, that guy. So he's
Mhm.
co-creator. So maybe the other guy is the other co-creator or
Yeah.
lady.
Okay, so now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's
But,
hilarious. Now I'm
I
interested.
absolutely love that show. Anyway, so that's my new thing. So if you guys are, anybody that's out there looking for a new 30-minute comedy, give that one a try. Joey says, what is it streaming on? It's streaming on Apple TV. And oh my God, I've been sucked into Apple TV right now. It's just everything I'm watching is Apple TV. It's kind of crazy. It used to be Amazon was everything, but I've been on a big Apple TV kick, and I've actually used Hulu a little bit. I'm watching some old Survivor seasons with my kids, and we just watched season 1. It's just hilarious to watch it when it was old. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Nick, anything hot and new in your world right now?
So, I mean, I'm watching Succession, which it's an HBO show.
Is it good?
It's good if you're into like sort of political drama type. It's not like a big action sort of, great for showing off your system type show, but it's got a lot of good hooks in it, and it's a good show for my wife and I to watch together. So we get down with that. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what is the premise of the show? Because I've had a number of people say you should watch Succession, but I don't even know what it's about.
It's sort of loosely based on Fox News, as far as I can tell. It's like Rupert Murdoch's family and how cutthroat they are, and how like business is more important than family, I guess is the way that I would sort of frame it up. But it keeps our attention, and it's a lot of sort of good twists and turns. So I love that. But I did want to throw out 2 terrible movie recommendations that have great soundtracks, and this is digging back in the files, and I watched these because these movies get universally panned, but I rewatched them and they just have phenomenal soundtracks. One is Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, again, routinely noted as the worst, but I thought it had great sound. And the other one is Batman Forever, which again, worst Batman movie of all time, but just watch it for the sound. I know, and it's I found them to be very watchable because I went into them knowing that they were going to be terrible, and in terms of the actual movie quality, but I just love the sound of those movies. I thought they were really good. And then Larry gets sick of me recommending this one, but my favorite movie of all time is Jacob's Ladder. It's like a late 80s or so with Tim Robbins, and it's got everything. It's a war movie, it's a thriller, it's a psychological drama, it's got a phenomenal soundtrack. So I really want them to drop that on 4K, and when they do, I'll be the first one to pick it up. So that's my 4-pack.
You heard it here, Jacob's Ladder, everyone.
Tim Robbins is one of my all-time favorite actors, so
it's a phenomenal movie. You
flack for that.
Everyone will, and if you don't,
you're not like Gary recommending all the teen girl shows on Netflix. So
can't get down on that yet.
Oh, and speaking of teen girls, Mike.
That's brutal segue there.
Yeah, really.
Apropos, what teen girl show do you have us to mention to us today?
Teen girl show. Afraid I don't have any teen girl show. We're on the cusp of finishing. Well, we're on the 3rd season of Breaking Bad, which I'm super behind. I should have watched that years ago, but I'm really getting into it. It's getting really intense now. So it's one of those shows where I'm like, okay, there's 2 seasons left. Not sure what's going to happen. Not sure where they're going with it from here. So I'm excited about that, but I'm interested in this Squid Game thing that everybody keeps talking about, and I still haven't watched an episode. So Nick and Larry, have you guys checked it out yet? What do you think?
So Nick has finished it, and I'm 6 episodes in.
Okay.
I traveled this week, and I was planning on watching it, but I was on a plane last week, and you can't really watch that when you're sitting on a plane next to people. But
is it really that intense?
Well, there's some, it's pretty violent.
Okay. All right.
But quite fun. If you're into South Korean movies and stuff like I am, and you'll enjoy it because it's kind of in that same repertoire of everything that comes out of there. And kind of going back to Breaking Bad, I didn't have any interest in it when it was on television. I was like, a show about a teacher that makes meth. Okay,
right.
why am I
I felt the same way. I felt the same way.
Then I got into it and I found out my wife's from New Mexico, so we go back to New Mexico a lot. And you can't see it, but right here, that's my Breaking Bad collection in the special Blu-ray case with the
that's awesome
barrel. And then that's some pop figures of Heisenberg and Jesse Pinkman and Saul Goodman.
I'm trying to get my hands on some of those, and they're so expensive right now.
You can't see it, but there's some blue stuff hanging on.
No way.
If you go to New Mexico, there's a woman there that made the blue stuff for the show called the Candy Lady, and it's in downtown Albuquerque.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can go buy dime bags. And I went into a store and ordered a bunch of dime bags and brought my kids home dime bags of the blue stuff.
Wait,
Candy.
Wait, are the DVDs inside the
yes.
the methylamine barrel?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I don't know what happened to it. It must have fallen down, but I actually had the apron from Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh my god,
it was part of that collection. And I've been to that restaurant. I took a day in Albuquerque and went to 22 of the filming locations. I've had my car washed at the A1, which is the octopus car wash. So I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I got caught up in season 5 and then caught up right there. So I know what you're going through. And
I'm watched beginning of season 3, so when the plane crashes. So
it's so good. And I tell everybody, if you're not hooked after season 1 episode 2 with the bathtub, you're just not going to watch it.
Oh yeah, I was hooked after the first episode.
Cool. Well, let's move on to Larry. Anything you want to call out? Man, we're drawn close to the end of our hour here.
I see everybody talking about Dune. I did watch that, and I never could get past 10 minutes of the original, and this one was fantastic. Squid Game been watching. There's a show on Netflix that I love, and all of us are movie geeks. And if you haven't checked this out, it's a series called The Movies That Made Us.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's really good.
3 seasons of it now, and it goes through the movies from all of our childhoods and horror movies now. And I watched the Back to the Future one the other day on one of my flights, and seeing how they went from had to refilm the entire movie when they brought Michael J. Fox in because Eric Stoltz didn't work, and then started watching some other ones on there. And then there's a documentary on the last blockbuster that I watched too. So when I travel, I go deep because nobody in my family wants to watch that stuff. And that's when I take that opportunity. But Dune was quite a bit of fun. I'm going to watch that. And then Squid Game, I just got 2 or 3 episodes left, so I need to finish that too.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, that's content, and we're going to move into cleanup now. And so, Mike, cleanup is kind of where we talk about our channels and our stuff and what's coming in the future. Any news from Audio Arkitekts? I know you're becoming a t-shirt mogul, master designer over there, making me a little jealous.
Well, it's funny because I was just working on that a little bit ago. I felt that there's an opportunity in the hi-fi industry to make audiophile / audio enthusiast related t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. So I've integrated that into my website just as a way to not only support the channel and support all my efforts and stuff like that, because as everybody knows that YouTube isn't paying millions for people that don't that have under a certain amount of subscribers. So for someone who like me, who I'm really trying to get my feet off the ground, and I want to actually thank SVS for kind of being at the ground level with me when I first started my channel and believing in me and believing in what I do, and just seeing the growth. I mean, you guys are a huge part of that growth, for me. So thank you so much for always being great supporters of my channel and everything.
Well, we love engaging with people who are passionate about this, and I don't think you'll find 2 more passionate folks than you two. So it's been a real pleasure being on that journey, and we'll keep supporting everyone who's got that same kind of passion. It's just fun for us. So hey,
awesome. I do have a question about the the shirts, are they going to have like microphones on them and have the EQ lights and stuff so that when you are listening to your system, you've got the LED kind of EQ on your shirt like you see in Vegas all the time?
That would be pretty cool.
You might
That
want
would
to
be pretty
patent that
cool.
idea.
I know.
No, every time we go to Vegas for CES, we go to this restaurant that's inside the Venetian, and we walk by this kiosk that has like 80 shirts on it, all these different patterns and stuff. And there's a bunch of EQs, and they react to sound.
That's funny.
I didn't know
Well,
that.
I do have a VU meter shirt, but it does not light up, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's
Not yet,
version
not
2
yet. Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
soon.
So,
All right,
Giles,
I'm
am I
gonna-
allowed to throw out a teaser as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's throw them out. Nick, what's new in your world?
So we have our regular SVS audiophile happy hours. Our next one will be on November 18th. That's a Thursday, 6 p.m. We do giveaways. So if you want to own SVS and it's just not in the cards right now, we usually do 4 giveaways per night. We're
It's
super
awesome.
excited for the Home Theater Fanatics Holiday Spectacular. I'm not sure if I'm calling that the right thing, but awesome that we're going to be able to support that. And hopefully you'll give us 5 minutes to chime in and wish everyone happy holidays. And one
Absolutely.
other piece of hardware we have coming out. I know I teased a couple new products, and we have actually more in the works. We'll have some little plaques coming here, and when you see one behind me, we'll have 2 different plaques for people to put in their home theaters. This is something people have been asking us for a while.
They're going to go
And,
nuts for that.
I know the merch is always something where it's like, we're not
Merch.
just doing this for a money grab. We're doing it because, like Mike said, it's a nice way for people to demonstrate that they're, they love the brand, and we're not going to gouge people. So it's just a cool way for us to give a little extra love to folks who do featured systems and stuff. So we're excited about that.
Awesome. So yeah, make sure everybody, if folks haven't gone to your YouTube channel yet, they should all go subscribe, and they'll get notified when all your live streams are coming. And the giveaways are awesome, but you guys get some really good guests on there too. So I'm a little bit jealous of those guests from time to time. I'm like, dang, I need that guy.
Yeah, Nick does a great job of getting in touch with those people.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. And Larry, anything else you want to call out?
I'm not cool like that. I'm just along for the ride. The Mavericks lost tonight, so I'm kind of bummed. The World Series is going on right now. My Niners stink, but we are having so much fun with these broadcasts, and seeing all of you. Being a part of these two are great, and it's really keeping us engaged and giving us something to look forward to all the time too, because it's kind of monotonous, being home and meetings on virtual. So having you guys around and interacting with all of the fans and the community is just a ton of fun. So we love doing that. We're looking forward to our next happy hour, and I think it'll be show number 35 or so for SVS at that point.
That's
and not
awesome.
even counting all these other ones that we've done.
Oh yeah, and that's quite a number of them.
Well, I know Nick and Larry. I know we're all we're overdue for a one-on-one or two-on-one interview, so we'll have to schedule that out soon as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Right on. And I think I'll close the show today with a call out for the Holiday Spectacular. For those that don't know, every year, and this is year number 2, so not a long history yet, but hey, second annual Holiday Spectacular. This is where I get as many companies as I can together to say thanks to all the viewers out there and to all the hi-fi and home theater fans, and do a bunch of giveaways. And the prizes, they are all over the place. We've got everything from a audio Arkitekts t-shirt. I'm giving away an 18-inch driver, Eminence driver. SVS is giving away. You want to call it out, Nick? What is
SVS
it?
Prime
go.
Wireless powered speaker system. I know
Yeah.
Mike's had some experience with that, so we're happy
Heck yeah.
to put that up and make someone's holiday sound a little better.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got Kef. Per Listen is giving away one of their huge subwoofers, is like $5,000. So I mean, we've got stuff all over. Kaleidoscape is giving away their coasters. And
I was like, Kaleidoscape. I'm gonna. Oh, okay.
I know. So I talked to the guys over there. Hey, you guys want to get in on this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you want to give away? No, we'll give you some coasters. But you know what? I use the coasters more than I use the actual Kaleidoscape that I have. Because I sit in front of my computer all day long, and I have something to drink on this coaster, and I watch a couple of movies on the actual unit every week. So yeah, the coasters get more time than they're actually their players. It's kind of funny, but I'll have links down below for that. Make sure to sign up. This is probably the highest value, lowest attendance rate, so your highest chance of winning some cool gear. And you know, it's like I've got earbuds and headphones, and there's some Kef speakers. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there.
Awesome.
So make sure to sign up for that. There's a gleam.io sign up. You need to sign up. You know, some things you can win not present, some things you have to be watching the stream to win. The bigger stuff, you got to be on the stream. And like Nick said, a handful of companies are also going to be on to say hi during the stream, during their giveaway. And I'm super excited. This is by far the most fun stream that I do. And Mike can attest, he was with me last year, and it is just non-stop. You know, it's like a prize every 3 or 4 minutes for the stream. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Nick, Larry, Mike, thanks so much for being on the show.
No problem, dude.
Everybody have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next week in the next stream.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome.